Speaking of people retiring, people getting up there in age, Adam Copeland has been making the rounds at local radio stations and gave us a bit of an update on his future. So currently, Adam Copeland is off AEW television after he was attacked by FTR at Dynasty. He made an appearance at a Maple Leafs game and did a radio spot on First Up with Korolnik and Kalikovo. And he was asked how much longer he thinks he'll be wrestling. I keep wanting to say Edge. Adam Copeland said, not much longer. The schedule is far better than what it used to be. If you asked me to try and pull off over 200 days a year that I pulled before, there's absolutely no way because the recovery takes too long now. I'll have a match and it'll take me a good week to finally start walking normal. I've realized now I'm 51 years old. I figure I have until maybe 53, the end of this contract, and then it's probably time to call it a day and get out while I can, still limp away, lick my wounds, and do a whole lot of yoga after. And he turns 53 in October 2026. So it seems like his contract ends basically in a year and a half, give or take.
He debuted at Wrestle Dream, right?
Did you say he debuted at Wrestle? Did he debut at Wrestle Dream?
Yeah, yes, he did.
Yeah,
I don't know. It wasn't this.
That's like an October pay-per-view. That's why I asked.
But it was 2 Wrestle Dreams ago.
Yeah,
it was
the first Wrestle Dream.
Yeah, it wasn't the one where Danielson like retired with
got murdered.
On
a live
bag over his head.
On a live,
a live leak.
on a live. Oh, gotta censor that.
Oops. No, I think it was 2. And yes, apparently his contract is up in October 2026. So, how do you feel about basically that timeline? What do you think he's got left to offer AEW with the year and a half that he has left on his contract? Where do you think he can go in the current storylines, or who would you want him to, tussle it up with? We have like some interesting current feuds. MJF is cozying up with the Hurt Syndicate, right? Because Hurt Business is the Hurt Syndicate. We have the Owen Hart Cup. And that one has a number of guys. You have Will Ospreay, I believe, who he's facing Hangman, Adam Page, I believe.
Let's go, Ospreay.
So, I mean, he got attacked by FTR, so I guess that makes the most sense. But given that, what do you guys think he should do in the next year and a half?
Eventually tussle up with Christian Cage, I imagine.
And they've done a little bit of it, right? They've done a little bit of that.
When he came back, he interrupted him, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Christian Cage is currently kind of doing the patriarchy, Nick Wayne stories. Nick Wayne is currently a Ring of Honor champion.
TV champ.
Yeah. And they're like Christian Cage's character. I mean, I guess it's a father figure, tough love kind of thing, but it feels like there's going to be like a boiling over between Nick Wayne and Christian Cage.
Yeah, because he keeps talking about messing with his mama.
Yeah. And they're probably messing in storyline. They probably are messing with each other. But yeah, I feel like Cope's current story. I mean, it starts with FTR. I honestly don't know where it goes from there. Beating FTR, and I don't even does he tag with somebody to beat FTR? Because it's not going to be a 2-on-1
with Sting.
Christian Cage gonna save him.
They'd have to answer why he was an asshole that whole time and now he wants to save him, I guess.
Because he's Christian Cage.
Yeah, I guess.
Does what he wants.
I mean, I guess just for the legacy of his career. You know, like how Cena's kind of going to probably go through all his old opponents and stuff. Like maybe because Edge, Adam Copeland had like a long tenure with Christian for so long as a tag team. Maybe they'll probably do that. I don't know how, but like I think him having a tag team match with Christian Cage would be, good. But I don't know how that would happen. But
I need a perfect
they were tag partners for so long. So like them tagging up for like the last time before he goes. And
I was gonna say, I feel like Tony Khan would want him to retire with like a storybook ending, but that's not necessarily true given Bryan Danielson's finish.
That was a storybook, just a crazy dark story.
Yeah, I mean, I guess his ending was at All In, a couple of PLEs prior to that with that whole victory, and then I guess he wanted to go out by trying to give the Death Riders something to chew on and look.
He wanted out in a box,
but it didn't really seem to like work out since that happened for the Death Riders. I feel like the Death Riders, I don't know, they're not getting go away heat either. It just feels a little tepid to me, but they tried. But I feel like for the Cope retirement, I feel like they might want to give him something proper, like a Sting retirement, like he did for him.
Because he's close. He's so close to Sting. So close. So close.
Adam Copeland never won the
Sting. Here's Cope.
Yeah, man, you're right.
To who?
Or maybe maybe he leaves his contract and then just does one last run with WWE in some form and then retires. Because like he showed up in AEW, he wanted to try something new, but WWE is his home, really. I feel like it's weird for him to end it in AEW, but I mean that's his decision. Sting is a unique creature. He showed up in WWE, which is weird because that was like a fish out of water thing. Sting was more TNA than WWE, like in terms of belonging somewhere.
Right.
But Edge feels like, or Adam Copeland feels like a WWE guy. So it'd be weird to have his last match in AEW, but it's his career.
Actually, be another cool thing? I mean, I know I brought it up earlier, but like Gangrel was there for a minute. Maybe he'll come back. He'll do a brood thing for like an actual brood, like all three of them, not just the two. But
and I think Edge in WWE pitched the concept of Gangrel showing up. And I think this might have been when Vince was still, it was like the weird moment where Vince was like, they're not there. They were like, no, we're not doing that. But I think that'd be cool. I'm curious how long Christian's contract is, because maybe they could just both leave and then do one last thing in WWE. But
you think they're gonna put a championship belt on him? I imagine on Cope.
That's what I was wondering too. Because I don't even, did he ever win the big one? No, not yet. Right? AEW.
We had the TNT belt for like a second.
Yeah,
he got hurt.
Yeah, he got a mid card belt, but
he got hurt.
They never gave him the strap. Well, what do you guys think? Do you feel like wrestlers like Adam Copeland who come back later in their careers, because he had that neck injury and then he came back after a long time and then he basically had a whole other career. Do you feel like that kind of changes the perception of how long a wrestler can stay active? Like we feel like certain wrestlers, or you reach a certain age and you can't go any longer. But I guess in wrestling,
how old was
50
Flair?
Is still young. Yeah, I mean Flair.
How old was Flair in Evolution?
Oh, he must have been in his like
60s, probably
late 50s.
Because he was still doing like 200 plus matches a year. Like, I think there was one year where he actually wrestled the most out of Evolution.
Yeah, I mean, they put him in a Money in the Bank, like at WrestleMania 22 ladder match, and he was like 50. 9 or 6.
They said, "Hey Rick, how's your back?" Okay, good, because you're about to fall off top of this
You're
shit.
about to go with one with Shelton Benjamin. The money.
Hey, you can still take a bump, right? Cool.
That was wild. I mean, yeah, I feel like Ric Flair. I mean, he is such a unique creature. I mean, I guess not. That's not true because I guess in wrestling there are a lot of guys who do not retire, and that is the running joke where you retire and then you just keep working the indies and you keep doing that one last match. I mean, Ric Flair did his retirement match where he almost killed himself at like what 72, 71.
One more match.
I think he's still got one more in him.
I think he does too.
I mean, we saw the dude from Rock and Roll Express do his match in freelance, or at least I did. Rock and Roll.
Somebody from Rock and Roll. I think they just took a power driver from FTR.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw that.
So, what do you guys think? Is it better for guys like Edge to go out while they can still "quote unquote" limp away, or should they stick around in like a non-wrestling role, like managing or commentary? How do you guys feel about guys still sticking around?
I think it's cool when they fit in. I don't think I don't know. I can't even Judgment Day. I couldn't really see a faction built around Edge. Even La Familia, I was just eh.
Yeah,
I feel it was on the cusp with the Judgment Day stuff because it was literally they just started it and he was the thing and then suddenly he wasn't and then you know it wasn't enough.
Somebody got hurt.
Gonna be good. Yeah.
Somebody got hurt and that's why Edge had to switch to. That's why Judgment Day turned on him.
Yeah. But
I don't know. I think it goes back to remembering him as a loner character and things like that, where it's just when I see him with people, unless he's a vampire, I'm like, what are you doing with people? You're supposed to be a loner.
You're supposed to be an on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, what are you doing? See, Rated RKO was cool because it's one guy. You can still be a loner and be cool with one guy.
Yep.
Yeah. I agree. Well, what do you guys think? Well, so you know what? I think what I'm seeing more of, and maybe it's more unique to more of the younger generation, but I think a lot of them are kind of putting a timestamp or an expiration date on their retirements. I feel like Shawn Michaels mostly did that, with the exception of that one match that he did in Saudi Arabia with Triple H.
That extra zero that he never seen on a check before.
Yeah. With the exception of that, Shawn Michaels has been pretty good, and a lot of guys don't really do keep coming back. I mean, Bret Hart, he did the little mini run in WrestleMania 26, had a United States Championship belt run, and then went away, and I think that's primarily because of health. Maybe if he was still more fit, then he would keep doing it. But I feel like guys like John Cena are setting an example of all right, I'm stopping at 45 or whatever it is. Do you feel like that's going to be a pattern, or do you feel like John Cena is going to be a unique kind of person in that respect? Do you feel like Edge, when he says, I'm retiring next year, do you believe him?
I believe these batch of guys more than a Flair or a Hogan era. I think their agents are a little more in their ear than say those two, or even I'd say them, Warrior, all those type of guys. I don't think they ever really consider themselves more than wrestlers.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously after the success of Rock and shit like that, it's just been more of a hey, they like you on TV. You don't have to do the other stuff. You can find a way.
Yeah, I would say even though Hogan was one of the first ones to do it, really going to the movie scene, The Rock kind of set that bar for other wrestlers to kind of find other avenues outside of wrestling. So really, Edge saying, I'm gonna hang him up next year, he's probably got something else down the pipeline to do, whether it be somewhat wrestling related, like in the background, or still on camera, but doing, I don't know, the Marine Six or something. I don't know, but
I mean, Adam Copeland actually has had like the one thing for Hogan, like he did try to have a movie career, but that didn't work out really well. Dwayne Johnson, I mean, was probably the first wrestler to have a truly successful transition into Hollywood and having this giant successful career. Dave Bautista did the same thing. Edge has done, I feel like he has had a career, not to the degree of like Batista, who I think has been the best actually out of, in terms of acting. Dave Bautista has the most range in terms of his acting career and his roles.
Hell yeah.
Edge has
he got less bad movies.
He's appeared in like Havoc or whatever, or Haven or whatever that TV show's called.
Edge is good for TV.
He's done like a lot of cool like TV series and shows like that.
Vikings.
And he has a career
Percy
there.
Jackson.
And I think the guys in this generation do see that there are other avenues, especially now with like the internet, like YouTube, people creating their own podcasts, beer companies. Like there's a lot of more opportunity beyond wrestling versus like what you said, David and Andres, is like wrestling was basically it. Like they that's what they lived for, and there wasn't a lot of opportunities outside of that. But now you could really make a name of yourself, and you could be a brand and be selling and doing things that you like, and purely based off your name and identity. And it doesn't just have to be wrestling. So I think there's more of a light at the end of that tunnel. But I don't know. We'll see. I am curious to see what Tony Khan does with Cope's character when he comes back. I'm sure there'll be a blow off with FTR, and then we'll see where that goes. In terms of his retirement, I hope it ends in WWE. But we talked a little bit about Hogan and his movie career, and that kind of can segue into the next story.